This is lecture 5, chapter 3. In this lecture, I shall tell you about number 1, refining of metals, number 2, corrosion and its prevention, and number 3, alloys. First, I tell you about refining of metals. Metals extracted by reduction with some element may require further purification. Remember that no substance can ever be 100% pure. The degree of purity of a substance required depends on its uses. Purity of a chemical suitable for commercial purpose may not be suitable for laboratory purpose. Electrolytic refining is one of the refining processes. Copper, zinc, tin, silver and gold are refined by this method. In this method, a pure metal electrode is taken as the cathode, and impure metal which is to be refined is taken as anode. It means the anode and cathode both are of same metal which is to be refined. Cathode is negatively charged electrode and anode is positively charged electrode. The electrolyte taken is the metal salt solution. On passing current, metal ions from impure metal anode go into the electrolyte, move towards the cathode, receive electrons there and form metal atoms to get deposited on the pure metal cathode. The impurities in the impure anode are left there and settle down. For ultra refining, the method used is called zone refining. Next subtopic is corrosion. Corrosion is spontaneous and continuous wasting away of metal due to the reaction with the surrounding substances. You studied corrosion in the first chapter. You learned that number 1, silver becomes black with passage of time. This is because silver has great affinity for sulfur. Ag combines with H2S, or silver combines with hydrogen sulfide present in the air to form silver sulfide, which is black colored. Copper materials react with carbon dioxide in presence of water to form a greenish coating of basic copper carbonate. Iron reacts with atmospheric oxygen in presence of water to form a brownish Fe2O3 coating, which is called rust. Here I perform an activity to find out what conditions are required for iron to rust. Let us take 4 test tubes and number them as 1, 2, 3 and 4. And now here I put clean iron nails in each. I put water in test tube number 1 and cork it. I put boiled distilled water in second so that nails dip completely. I put some oil to cover the surface of the water and cork it. I pour some anhydrous calcium chloride in test tube number 3 and cork it. In fourth, I put tap water and some salt like NaCl and leave for a few days. You can observe that after few days here that iron nails have rusted to the maximum in test tube number 4, and at number 2 it is test tube number 1. No rusting appears in test tube number 2 or test tube number 3. It means for iron to rust, oxygen and moisture are essential, and rusting is made faster by some impurities like salts. How we can prevent the corrosion of iron? From this activity we can learn how to prevent corrosion. We can prevent corrosion by preventing oxygen and water to come in contact with the iron. This can be done by applying coating of paint or oil which is impervious to oxygen and water. Putting a coating of zinc metal on iron prevents iron from rusting. The iron item is dipped in molten zinc to apply a thin coating of it. The process is called galvanization. The next subtopic is alloys. Mixing a metal with other element is called alloying. In a certain alloy, the ratio of metal and other elements is within a certain narrow range. Depending on the amount of carbon mixed in iron, alloy can be called mild steel or high carbon steel or cast iron. In mild steel, carbon is about 0.05% to 0.25% by weight. In high carbon steel, carbon is from 6% to 1% by weight. On heat treatment, high carbon steel becomes very hard and brittle. On mixing nickel and chromium with iron, stainless steel is formed. It means the stainless steel is the mixture of nickel and chromium. Stainless steel is lustrous and resistant to corrosion. Purity of gold is measured in carats. Pure gold is 24 carat. 22 carat gold means 22 parts gold and 2 parts other metal, and usually that other metal is copper. Amalgam means alloys of mercury. Electric and thermal conductivity gets changed on alloying the metals, which is usually less than any of the constituent pure metals. Melting point of the alloy is also less than the constituent metals. Brass is an alloy of copper and zinc. Bronze is an alloy of copper and tin. These are not good conductors of electricity, despite copper in them, which is a good conductor of electricity. Solder is an alloy of tin and lead. In the end, I summarized what we discussed today. Number one, metals are sometimes needed to be further refined. Depending on the reactivity of the metal, the process of refining is selected. Low reactivity metals can be refined by electrolysis. Next, we discussed at number 2 that corrosion and its prevention. Many metals react with the surrounding substances like gases and water. This can be prevented by making a barrier that does not allow the atmospheric constituents to come in contact with the metal or by coating with a suitable matter. Corrosion can be prevented by oiling, greasing or painting. Iron items can be prevented from rusting by galvanization. Galvanization is a process of applying zinc coating on the iron metal. Next, at number 3, we discussed about the alloys. An alloy is a homogeneous mixture of elements in which solvent is a metal at least. Means an alloy can have 2 or more than 2 elements in which at least one is metal. The properties of alloys are that they are usually resistant to corrosion and have lower melting points. They have lower electric and thermal conductivity too. Now here is today's question. Aluminium lies above iron in reactivity series. Even then, iron rusts but aluminium does not. You might have seen aluminium utensils in your kitchen too. What is the reason for that? Aluminium does not rust while the iron does, despite iron lies below aluminium in the reactivity series. That is it, today's lecture.